Hello, I'm Michelle Kingsfield. Welcome to another all-new episode of Meet Your Hometown Attorneys. You'll learn more about the largest and most successful personal injury law firm in Southwest Ohio, Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz.
And I'm Jim Bucher. You'll meet the law team that makes up the DGMS firm.
We'll hear from some of the tough, smart attorneys and how they can help you. We'll also hear the personal story of a client who has been helped by Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz.
So stay with us and meet your hometown attorneys.
Welcome, I'm Michelle Kingsfield, and welcome to Meet Your Hometown Attorneys. Joining us now are the co-founders of Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz, Mike Dyer and Doug Mann.
Hello.
Welcome.
How are you?
Good to see you guys again.
Thank you.
So as we talk and we go through these kinds of shows, I always think, gosh, I would hope I never had to have an attorney, right? I mean, we don't want to worry about getting in accidents. We don't want to worry about being wronged, but unfortunately, it happens. And it happened to your wife.
It did. I mean, it happened about 10 years ago, and this is after me practicing for 20 years. I thought I knew everything about the personal injury claims and the effects on the family, and all of a sudden, Mike and I were at work one day, and we got a call that my wife was in an accident, and people are screaming and yelling. I could hear sirens going on, and they said, "Where should we take her?" And I said, "Take her to Miami Valley Hospital." What happened, her and her friend were volunteering at a nursing home. It's the middle of the day, Centerville, Ohio, standing on a sidewalk, and an elderly lady's pulling her car up, hits the accelerator versus the brake, goes up onto the sidewalk, hits both my wife and her friend, through a metal gate, down a hill, and crashes into the nursing home.
Oh my gosh.
Here, I didn't know anything about it. We get to the hospital, and we're there before the ambulance. And I know the one doctor that heads the care flight, and he came up, and I said, and he knows my wife. I said, I heard Beth's in an accident. He goes, I heard. He goes, let me go identify the body, and I'll get back to you.
When that happened, I looked at Doug and I said, "Oh my God!" And I had tears in my eyes. I said, Doug, this might not be good.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you the chills.
Oh, yeah, that's why I'm like, identify. I mean, we knew that he knows my wife, and so then they brought her in, and they performed surgery after surgery right away, and they said she probably won't be able to keep her leg, and so we were getting used to that thought. And eventually, after 15 surgeries over a year period, she had a Liz Roth device on, couldn't walk for 9 or 10 months of her life. Missed out. I have 3 kids, and they were at that point a senior in high school, a 9th grader, and a 5th grader.
Oh, wow.
So I went home, and I became nurse's aide at home that I never had. And all our clients have the same thing, is that it really affects the family life. So I really learned a lot, and the firm helped out because I was missing work, and everybody, of course, the family at work came in and backed me up there, but just I saw what a patient goes through on a nightly basis, in the middle of the night, and the pain and the rehab, and it really, I think it made me a better attorney than I was even. And God bless my wife, she's a trooper, never let it stop her. And here, if you saw her today, she'd walk across them, she's volunteering, does a lot of good things with Flock, and she never let it stop her. But it's just, again, it could affect, an accident can happen to anybody, and that's what I learned. And actually, Mike and I were in an accident a couple years ago, too.
And one other thing about your wife's accident, when you see the way his family pulled together and the hardships they went through, just trying to, at night, get her upstairs because she didn't want to sleep in a hospital bed downstairs. Doug had to carry her upstairs night after night.
Wow.
He had to adjust to Liz Roth, and it's just amazing. I've done personal injury for 30 years before this accident happened, or maybe 25 at that point. And I really empathize with my clients, but watching my best friend and partner go through it was just amazing.
And it was at that point, a year later, I was trying to think, how do you thank the people at the Miami Valley Hospital, the nurse, the staff? They did such a great job. So I came to the partners and said, I want to just take some of our advertising time and put a commercial out there just for them, not even putting our name and number. I want to thank the nurses and staff. They saved my wife's life. And we did over a couple of years, and it's just like, I still feel very thankful for everything they did. And
actually, we run into nurses and doctors.
And they all ask how she's doing. Every client that comes in.
Beth.
Yeah, she's one of those personable people, and so it's a good thing she's out there in the community. And again, that's a good thing that we do what we do, that we could help her too.
That's right. And I think that I remember her story, and I think that the thing that always goes into my mind is, you just never know.
No.
It could be any second of any day. You just never know, and we never want it to happen.
And it
we
changes
never
a
wish it on
family's
anyone.
life.
And it's never the same. That's right.
She missed a year of her life that she'll never get back, but at least she sees a bright future, and that's her attitude, and I like that. And that's like a lot of our clients, and you got to have that positive attitude in bad times.
That's right, and we always talk about the positive attitudes, but we also on these shows we talk about that family unit and just the relationships that you have with your clients long after you've settled their cases and helped them out. So I think that's fantastic. It's a great story, and it's a fantastic way to treat people. So I think that your insight on it now is even better.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, talking about clients and keeping in touch with them, we're going to meet another satisfied client of Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz coming up, Fred Howard.
(1-800-INJURED) medical alert. Metal-on-metal hip implants have been recalled due to device failure. If you have a metal-on-metal hip implant, you may be entitled to a large cash award. Call 1-800-INJURED today. Metal-on-metal hip implants have been linked to serious complications, including joint stiffness, severe pain, and device failure that may require corrective surgery. If you have a metal-on-metal hip implant and experience side effects, call 1-800-INJURED today. You may be entitled to a large cash award.
We're back now with another satisfied client of Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz, and Doug Mann and Fred Howard are here to join us. Such a pleasure to meet you, Fred.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here and just being open and being able to tell us your story. First of all, how did you get involved with Doug Mann and the firm of Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz?
Well, it was due to a serious motorcycle accident I had in 2009.
Tell us about it a little bit.
Well, I've been riding motorcycles over 30 years and never thought I would have a motorcycle accident, and I actually woke up from a coma after being in a coma for 6 weeks at Miami Valley Hospital, and they told me that I had wrecked the bike, and I found out later on that it was the fault of another, and fortunately my parents knew I was going to need an attorney, and they hired Doug Mann and his team of attorneys, and they started working on the case right away.
And this was a big collaboration in the firm.
Oh, it really was. There was 4 different partners who were working on this case, and Pierre Tismo did the investigation, got the accident reconstructions that we needed, because they were trying to blame Fred for the accident. It wasn't his fault, but the other side was trying to blame him. And then we had myself, Mike Dyer, David Marquis, and so it was a big team of people, and we all got to know him along the way and watched his rehab. And he had severe disabling injuries that lasted a long time, but he had, again, the right attitude to work through it. And so eventually then we all got together, had a mediation, and were able to successfully resolve this case. So that's why we're glad to see him sitting here, and he looks better and better every time we see him.
That's always good to hear. So tell us a little bit about your recovery. I mean, you were saying that these were some severe injuries.
Well, I suffered from a traumatic brain injury, and I did about 2 years of physical therapy.
Wow.
And it was a battle, but along the way, these guys had my back and handled all my legal aspects, and that was a relief to have them handling that part of it while I was trying to recover myself. Absolutely,
because obviously when someone's there to help you, you need to be focused on what you need to do, and that's recovery, and the firm took over for that as far as your legal, and that's fantastic. And I think that's why we talk a lot on this program about friendships and how friendships are built between you and your clients, and how does that happen? Most of the time you have a lawyer, you do what they need to do, and you're done. But that's not the case. I mean, this was
every time Fred came into the office, I mean, again, the improvement was so noticeable. But he always had a sense of humor that he has our sense of humor. We became friends and buddies that way. And that's why we work hard for all of our clients, but we're so happy that we could get a good result for Fred, because he deserved it, and he wasn't able to work any longer in his life. And I think we've taken care of him so he can take care of his 2 boys, and he's getting married soon, so we're excited about that. So his life turned around, and I'm glad we were part of that turnaround.
And just to go back for a second, we were saying that you got in a motorcycle accident, but how did that happen? I was just curious.
I don't remember any of the accident. Like I said, I've been riding over 30 years. I guess a piece of equipment was thrown out in front of me at dark in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it was a large retail, I won't use their name, chain, and it was flower carts that were on top of a hill, and people accidentally let it go, negligently let it go, and it went down into the street. He tried to swerve to avoid it, and there you have it. I mean, a terrible accident, great recovery, and a continued recovery, because it'll be lifelong injuries but he's got, again, the attitude that I'm going to not let it stop me and move on, get married, and continue having a good life.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Doug. And by the way, I'd like to invite you to the wedding this fall.
Well, thank you. Hey, that's great.
That's
everybody.
wonderful.
Congratulations to you and your fiance, and really many, many happy years in the future for you.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Stay in touch. You know we're going to stay in touch.
Oh,
And thanks
yeah.
for the invite. So.
Certainly.
And congratulations on your recovery as well.
Well, thank you.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Fred.
You too.
Thank you. Well, coming up next, what do paralegals do? Jim Bucher is going to talk to one from the law firm of Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz right after this.
If you ride, rest assured, you've got the Tiger on your side. Call 1-800-INJURED today.
Hey, joining us now is Joy Baldwin, and Joy, welcome. Can we hear from the fans of Joy Baldwin out there? There, listen to that. And 16 years with Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Good for you. Now, you are a paralegal.
Yes.
Now, tell the studio audience and the folks at home, what is a paralegal?
A paralegal is someone that initially greets the client when they come in. They collect all the information about the accident or dog bite or whatever it is. Yeah. And we notify the insurance companies that we represent them, and we get the attorneys involved who's available at the time to go over everything with the client, tell them the goods, the bads, and things like that, and we run the case for them.
Wow. And for 16 years, it's got to be rewarding to you. It's got
Yes.
to be, yeah.
I love my clients.
That's good. And so after the phone call, you're the first person they meet. So
Yes.
you're kind of also counselor too, aren't you? Because a lot of people are upset. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do.
Yes. I have lots of friends actually that were my clients that are friends now outside the office.
Yeah, that's what I did learn at doing stuff for Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz is the family atmosphere and the clients.
Very family oriented, very
really
family.
Is. And obviously you enjoy what you do.
Yes, I do.
So what is rewarding to you? You talked about it a little bit, but is it just helping folks, putting their concerns at ease?
Yes.
What is it?
Yes, I enjoy working with the people and everything. You know, trying to make things better for them. I mean, they were traumatized with an accident. I mean, I've been in an accident, so I know how they feel. Right. So I enjoy that, and you know, every now and then you get a card from them or bring in the pies or something like that, which is great.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So is there an atypical day for you? Like if someone were to come in, can you kind of describe
what
people would go through if they walk in the door?
We take, the paralegals are scheduled one day a week or something to take a new client, and that's pretty much all they do for that day. Taking the new clients, interview them, and run those cases, and then you start anew and settle the cases and talk to the insurance companies and the medical providers.
So you're on the phone. I was going to say you're on the phone and back and forth negotiating.
Yes.
That's got to, and then you confer with the attorney. Is this okay? Should we do this?
Right.
Should we ask for more?
Right.
Which is so nice because you don't have to do that on your own. I mean,
exactly.
you don't even think about that.
Right.
Which has got to really put your mind at ease.
Yes.
So rewarding for you and
Yes.
fun is sounds like a fun atmosphere down
Yes, and we have fun too.
there. Do you?
Yes.
Well, you have to have fun.
Well, it cuts down the tension. You know, you're worried about the clients, and the insurance companies may make you mad, and so it's great. You walk into the attorneys and say, "I'm mad," and they'll help you out. So
is it tough though to kind of disconnect yourself from a client?
Sometimes.
It is, isn't it?
Sometimes.
Because you get wrapped up in their personal story. And
right. It makes you sad.
Tough.
It's upsetting. You know, they have little kids that were injured or something, and you know, when we have kids and stuff, it's
relate to all that.
Yes.
So when you walk out of the door every day, it's a great feeling.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I made somebody happy today.
That's good. Well, listen, we appreciate you being here today.
Thank
She's
you.
always smiling too.
Thank
16
you.
years for Joy. Listen to
Yay.
again with the studio audience out there.
Yes.
All right, listen, we got much more to talk about.
Okay.
Michelle Kingsfield's coming up to talk about medical malpractice. And then I'm going on the road. Have you seen any of our on the road videos?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Good.
And now we're going to see them on TV, where we go all over the Miami Valley and visit all the satellite offices for Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz. Thank you very much.
Thank
Joe.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is a 1-800-INJURED medical alert for patients of the Da Vinci surgical robot.
If you or a loved one had a hysterectomy or prostate surgery performed using the Da Vinci surgical robot and suffered serious medical complications, call the number you see here. If you had to undergo additional surgeries because of these complications, you may be entitled to a large cash award. Call this number right now.
Call in the Tiger. You may be entitled to a large cash award. Call 1-800-INJURED today.
Welcome. We're here now with Doug Mann and Pierre Tismo of Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz. Great to see you.
Nice to see you again.
So it took you guys a long time to get this man back to your firm.
Long time. And this goes back to 1987. I worked for a different law firm. And this young man, he's a junior at UD undergrad, walks in. He wanted a summer job, so I said, come on, and we became friends. And then he ended up, I think I kind of talked him into going to law school because I thought I want to work with this guy. What's he do? He graduates UD Law School, top of his class. He goes to Chicago, becomes a federal prosecutor. And I'm like, oh, Pierre, so when are you coming back? And 7 years later, he's ready to come out again. He goes to, becomes a partner in a firm in northern Kentucky and specializes in medical malpractice. And we lost him again. So 7 more years, reeled him back in, and I'm proud to say he's been a partner at the firm for 9 years now, and he does a fantastic job. Thank you, Pierre.
Well, it's great to be back with you, Doug.
Thanks, man.
So speaking of medical malpractice, it's a very interesting story. Not only how you came into the law firm, but also how you got into this.
Well, my dad is a surgeon, and he's actually in his 55th year of practice and just won an award from the American Medical Association for practicing over 50 years. So growing up, I was fascinated with medicine. So I'd see him getting called out late at night to the emergency room or helping people. And I thought, boy, that's really interesting. So when I got out of law school, I became a prosecutor in Chicago, like Doug said, and got exposed to prosecuting murderers and rapists. So through those prosecutions, to prove my case, I'd meet with ER doctors, nurses, trauma doctors, coroners. And it further honed my fascination with the medicine, and I thought that would be probably a pretty good area of practice when I became a civil trial attorney when I came back to this area. And unfortunately, Michelle, CNN reported last year alone, 250,000 people died of preventable medical errors in hospitals, 250,000 people. So unfortunately, there's bad care going on out there. And I take great pride in helping people who are victims of medical negligence, but I even get more personal satisfaction when we can make a difference in this community by forcing hospitals to have better care for people. For example, I represented a full-term mother who came to a local hospital late at night, and she wasn't seen right away. Now, because of that lawsuit, we were able to change how expectant mothers at full term are seen, and they're seen quicker. At another hospital, there was a golf-sized tumor in someone's CAT scan that wasn't read, so there was a delay in diagnosis. So we have successfully litigated that case and made a change in that hospital. So it gives me great pride that we're not only am I helping people, but we're making a difference to other people in this community to prevent medical errors from happening.
So how do you know if you are the victim of some sort of medical malpractice? Because 250,000 people is a lot to die in, hospitals. So obviously there's probably those cases that we don't even know we've been wronged.
We get a lot of calls every day with people claiming malpractice. And so Pierre, we send them over to Pierre and his team, and they review them all because he'll tell you they're hard cases to prove and they're very expensive to pursue. And there might, go ahead, what are your criteria, Pierre?
Well, there has to be obviously a devastating injury, unfortunately. I always say that I meet great people, but in tragic circumstances. Mm-hmm. So, there's unfortunately someone's brain damaged or died or lost a leg or an arm, or they operate on the wrong site. It's just devastating. But you have to have a significant injury. And, there is a sense, though, once the family members come out of the fog, that they just knew something was wrong. Mm-hmm. So, there's that sense, too. So I'll review the medical records, hire an expert, and they'll look at it and tell me. But, it's been very rewarding. And, my dad always tells me the advice that he would give to people and I should give to my clients are two things. One, if you're going to an ER, and we all know, we've all been there where it's packed, you should have your doctor call the ER doctor, because doctors will talk to doctors. The other thing is have around-the-clock friends and family at the bedside, asking questions of the nurses and the doctors so they know that somebody's there to hold them accountable, because they can make mistakes, obviously, with those statistics.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. It's very interesting. Some really great advice as well. Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Welcome, Michelle.
And also coming up, Jim Bucher is on the road, taking you to more satellite offices of Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz. And we're going to talk to one of those hometown attorneys, John Smalley.
You know me, and you know my law firm. My family's from Dayton, Ohio, and I come from a long line of hardworking family members. I've worked in factories like this, and now my firm is proud to represent injured workers' rights. I'm personally aware of the suffering caused to families by on-the-job injuries. Workers' compensation laws are not fair to injured workers. Don't let your employer intimidate you. Let my firm level the playing field and protect you and your family's future. Call us today at 1-800-INJURED and let us fight for you.
Hey, Jim Bucher here in beautiful downtown Xenia, Ohio in Greene County, and we're here to pay a visit to yet another one of the many satellite offices of Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz. That's right, it's the Xenia edition of Bucher's Tiger Beat on the road. All right, so what are we waiting on? Let's get inside and meet the staff. Hi. How are you? Jim Bucher. Tia, nice meeting you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Now tell the folks at home what you do here.
I am the legal assistant here in the Xenia office. I help clients process their claims. I'm the first one that they see.
Yeah, so you probably calm a lot of fears, don't you?
I do. I try.
And a lot of people, I'm sure, after a wreck or maybe a dog bite, what have you, are very, panicking and they don't know what to do. So you really got to be a counselor too, don't you?
Yes, I do.
All right, give me an atypical day. What you do here?
The clients call. I take down all their information, set up the appointments. They come in. I get additional information from them, set them up with the attorney, and then I open up the claims, notify all the insurance companies that we represent them so they don't have to deal with the insurance companies themselves.
Nobody wants to do that. Okay, listen, you got somebody else working here with you?
I do. I have Shannon. She's our satellite office manager.
Can I go bug her?
Yes.
Okay. Shannon, she said I could bug you. It was her. I swear Tia said I could. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Jim Bucher. Hey, tell the folks at home what a satellite office manager does.
As a satellite office manager, I travel to the different satellite locations and assist the legal assistants with helping the clients.
All right, so when they see you pulling up, they jump to it, don't they?
Yes.
All right. And then how is it when you get folks that call in, and what are their reactions knowing there's a satellite office here in Xenia?
I think it's very convenient to have the different locations so they don't have to travel far to see an attorney.
All right, now speaking of your location, tell everybody where you're located.
We're located at 547 West 2nd Street in Kennedy Corners.
Okay, you can't miss it. It's right close to downtown. And then if folks have an issue, problem, what should they do?
They should contact the Tiger at 1-800-INJURED or contact us through our website at ohiotiger.com.
All right, get back to work. Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz has offices all over the Miami Valley, so no matter where you are, the Tiger is there for you. Well, we'll see you next time on another edition of Bucher's Tiger Beat on the road. Hey, to check out more of Bucher's Tiger Beat on the road here at Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz, just check out the Facebook website right there, and you can look at them at your leisure. Hey, now coming up on our Hometown Attorney Show, Michelle Kingsfield is going to be talking with attorney John Smalley.
Social Security Disability Alert. I'm Doug Mann. You know my law firm, Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz. We have successfully represented thousands of injured people, but what you may not know is that we have one of the fastest growing Social Security disability practices in Ohio. Unlike other law firms, we will take your case right from the beginning of your application instead of telling you to call us after you've been denied. So if you filed for Social Security disability benefits or you're thinking about applying, call in the Tiger today. We will help you right from the start.
If you ride, you probably know a lot about your motorcycle.
But when it comes to your accident case, there's a lot you may not know. For over 25 years, my law firm has protected the rights of motorcycle riders. Don't fight the insurance company on your own. Let us fight for you.
I'm here now with two more of your hometown attorneys, Mike Dyer and John Smalley. Great to see you both, as usual. So we're talking about insurance and car insurance, and we'd all like to think that we pay those great premiums to our insurance company and they're always there for us, right? Well, not exactly, so I guess that's where you come in, huh, John?
Unfortunately, that's true. All too often now, we think we buy insurance and we get in a bad wreck and we need our insurance the most, and they're not there for us and they're not on our side. So more of my time and our firm's time is being spent now suing the insurance companies to get the benefits that you should be entitled to without even having to hire an attorney.
Give me an example.
Well, we just finished a case where a drunk driver rear-ended our client, and as is too often the case, the drunk driver didn't have insurance. Fortunately, our client had paid premiums and had $50,000 in uninsured motorist coverage. So she asked her own insurance company to provide her with the benefits that she had purchased. Her insurance company gathered all of her medical bills and gathered all of her medical records. Never asked her how badly it impacted her and her husband and her family to try to really understand how catastrophic an effect this accident had. And they offered her $6,500.
That wouldn't even cover the medical bills.
It did not even
close.
It didn't even close to cover the medical bills. And John won't tout his own horn, but I will, because John is now one of the leading bad faith experts in Ohio. He lectures to lawyers around the state, and he does a heck of a job in bad faith cases. And in that case, John, I think you had a very good result for the client.
We did. We had a great result. But first, unfortunately, what you have to do is you have to then sue the insurance company to recover the benefits you're entitled to under your contract. And then once the jury gives you your insurance benefits that you paid for, you have a second lawsuit, and you sue the insurance company then for not being fair. So we got her insurance benefits in the first case, and the jury gave her her policy benefits, and then they gave her another $200,000 just for not being fair to her and forcing her to hire a lawyer to get the insurance coverage that she purchased.
Now, most people, I did not know that there is such a thing as this bad faith. I mean, is it just any person that owns a company, they can treat you that way if they want to, or is this a law? I mean, do insurance companies have to treat you a particular way?
Well, and some companies are fair. There are companies that are fair. There are really bad companies out there. I will mention one, Allstate Insurance Company. We always find that they do anything they can to. They're not the good hands people, let me tell you. John has had a couple of cases against Allstate with these type of issues. They have a duty to be objective and to treat you fairly if you are the person paying their premium. And that's what John has become kind of a specialist in, is helping people who are having trouble getting their own insurance company to pay them. If their own insurance company was fair to them, they wouldn't have to hire us and pay us a third.
Mm-hmm. So do you find this is happening more and more? I mean, I think a lot of people will be educated just by this few minutes that we're sitting here talking, because a lot of people don't know. I mean, if you get an offer from your insurance company, you think, okay, $6,000 is a lot of money, but they're not looking at the whole picture. And a lot of times when you're in that state, neither are you.
All too often, the insurance companies take advantage of you. When you most need them to be on your side, they're not. They have to hire an attorney and get what they're entitled to from their insurance company.
Wow, some incredibly helpful information, and I'm sure we could learn a lot more if we had more time. Thanks so much, John.
Recently, an injured client brought this pile of letters to my office. This actual pile of letters. Books, brochures, DVDs, these were all sent to one client. We looked through this stack and discovered not only are nearly all of these from out-of-town attorneys, there are at least 3 firms that have the same bogus local address. We're always surprised at the lengths out-of-town law firms will go to trying to make you think they're from our hometown. We know you know the difference. We're your hometown law firm. And if you're injured, call us today. 1-800-INJURED. Let us fight for you.
Thanks so much for joining us today. We hope that you've enjoyed meeting your hometown attorneys at Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz, and that you've learned how they can help you with your case.
Hey, I've learned a lot, and you've seen that the Tiger really is on your side, but we've only scratched the surface when it comes to how DGMS can help you.
That's right. So be sure to join us for the next episode of Meet Your Hometown Attorneys, when we'll meet more of the satisfied clients that they've helped and introduce you to more of the tough, smart attorneys at Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz.